All right, so welcome everybody to the Buyers Mastermind, where we come together every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central to move our business forward. Now, all of our recordings on past sessions are on the YouTube channel that I just linked up in the chat. So if you hear me reference something previously, then that's where you can go to find the recording. So I want to make sure that everybody has access to the information that you want. All right, so as let's get going. As you're coming in, let's start some activity here in the chat. City and state, if you want to drop that in the chat where you're contributing from today, and then we'll get going. Today we're focused on the acquisition part of our business. So the way that we structure our masterminds is pretty simple. We talk about acquisition, meaning lead generation, getting more business; conversion, which is what to say, how to say, when to say it. So strategies that help optimize those up at bats that we get. And then the third is scaling our business. So going from 5 to 10, 50 to 100, right? So scaling our business and what that looks like in its truest form. So last week, let me make sure I don't get this wrong. Last week, we were on a scaling call. So we talked about scaling and the best way to scale your real estate business. So if you go to the YouTube channel that I linked down in the chat, you'll be able to check out that recording in which we talked about scaling our business. Today, we're looking at lead generation. So what's very important in, I guess, every single year, but as many of you are going to start doing business planning or just getting through business planning here in November, we need to look at what we're going to do in 2023 that's either going to amplify what we did this year, if it worked, or what we're going to stop doing this year, next year, if it didn't work. So said a different way, if your 2022 strategy worked, great. Let's amplify that. Let's either find ways to automate or reduce cost or get some other people on board to help you with your business, move it forward, right? But if your 2022 was not really where you wanted it to be, then we need to start shifting some things around, right? So either your strategy was off in the sense that you put in the work and the output just wasn't there, or you just didn't execute on your strategy. So there's no way of you knowing if it would have worked. Does that make sense? So that's something that this isn't a business planning session. That's probably going to be in December once we get back from Thanksgiving. But I wanted to put that bug in your ear because as you go into 2023, one of the big, at the reset of every single year, it seems we're looking for different things just by nature, trying to do X, Y, and Z strategy, or try this, try that, try whatever. So we're looking to go wide rather than going deep. So one of the things that I want to encourage you, which is primarily what we're going to cover today, is really focus on the organic side of your business. So the free strategies that you have access to right now. So that is your social media reach that every single one of you has, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. You have access to millions and millions of eyeballs in your particular neighborhood. So we have to tap into that, right? So one of the simplest ways to do that is based off of not even a social media strategy. This is a Craigslist strategy. So we're going to talk about Craigslist for a quick second, because once you understand the stats and where it's positioned, it's lights out. So how many of you have ever used Craigslist for your real estate business one way or another? We have some hands waving. We see D waving. Yes, very long time. We have Ian. So Kim, very long time ago. So if you want to drop it in the chat. One huge opportunity for us right now is really, so very, very long time ago, there's a resurgence in the Craigslist economy. And if you look at just by the stats, we know that it gets millions and millions of eyeballs. That's awesome. That's evident. And that's something that you probably are aware of. But it's actually in the real estate category, it's ranked number 2. It's the second most visited website in the real estate category, slightly behind Zillow. So that's a stat that a lot of people don't recognize. That is just an opportunity right there waiting for you to exploit it yourself or some member of your team's exploiting it for you. So what does that mean? That means that you can leverage Craigslist from the listing side. We're not going to talk about the listing side, but you can leverage it from the listing side in having another distribution point for the listing that you have. So you take the listing, you put it on the MLS. Some of you are probably putting it on Facebook Marketplace. Some of you are doing email blasts to all the other realtors. Some of you are doing email blasts to your database. Some of you are pushing your listing out into the world and are not really focused on the Craigslist side of things, where you can have another distribution point that, as you heard earlier, it's the second in the real estate category. Just want to make sure in the real estate category, it's the second most visited website out there next to Zillow. So that's a huge opportunity for you to really start leveraging from the distribution standpoint. So again, getting your listing out into the wild, into the world. But we're not here for the listing side. We're here for the buyer side. So regardless if you have business right now or not, you're able to tap into Craigslist for free. So one of the things that they implemented years ago was you would pay $5 per posting, but not in the way that we post. So when you go to Craigslist, if you want to kind of go into it right now, that'd be cool as well. But when you go into Craigslist and you sign into your account, go to the area that you are geographically working, if you will. When you go real estate for sale, when you click on that button, it's going to be towards the middle. It's going to be under real estate. And then you go offer real estate. So I think it's literally called offer real estate. And it's going to ask you if it's by broker or by owner. And you're going to put by broker, and you're able to do that for free. So a lot of folks, when Craigslist introduced the $5 per post or publication or little listing, a lot of people stopped using it, not understanding that for us, it's still free. So we're still able to post on Craigslist for absolutely free. So the strategy here is very simple. Taking either a listing that we have or a listing that we have permission to market or a listing that is a new construction listing, taking that listing and posting it over on Craigslist. And without getting too molecular, and really writing out every single thing on the listing or on the post, the one thing that I want to encourage you to do is the call to action within the post itself is going to be asking the people that see that to text you. So that's the big difference here. So you're going to put it on Craigslist. You're going to put the listing on Craigslist. You're going to add 3 to 5 images of the listing. You're going to put a bit of a description. You don't want to copy and paste the MLS description because that's very easily findable. People can take that and copy it into Google, and they're going to go directly to Zillow. That's not what you want. So you want to just highlight a few aspects about the listing itself, some things that are unique to the property, and then you're going to ask people to text you. So you're going to ask people to text 123 Main Street and then put your cell phone number or your office line, assuming you have a voice over IP that accepts text messages. So that's the big differentiator here. When you ask people to text you, the huge benefit to you is the fact that when somebody texts you, you have their real phone number. If you were to send them to a landing page, when you're sending somebody to a landing page, they can give you a fake name, a fake email, and a fake phone number. But when you do it this way, when you ask somebody to text you, well, they're texting you from their actual phone line. So it's very hard for them to actually give you the wrong information. Right? So let's see. I saw some comments here about Craigslist. Let's see. I've always been afraid of Craigslist. We all need more leverage in all aspects. That's true. VAs, admins, TCs, correct. KV Core. So some of you have KV Core, so you're able to leverage that. So regardless of the brokers that you're from, our masterminds are brokerage agnostic. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. But some brokerages do give you access to KV Core. And with KB Core, you're able to post on Craigslist with one click. You just go to the listing, press Craigslist, and it goes on its way. So you don't even have to log in. You don't have to write the description. You don't have to even import the images. You don't have to do any of that. You're able to do just one click posting and you're done. So that's going to save you a lot of time. And this is something that if you wanted to do it yourself, it's going to take you less than 2 minutes to execute every single day. If you wanted to add this to one of your team members, it's going to take them about the same time. It's very simple to implement. Any questions on that? Since we're talking about acquisition, I want to make sure everybody's on the same page there, because this one's very simple to deploy.
Hey, Jaime, the one thing I did find out with Craigslist, once you go too fast, too many, you get a message that basically you can't post for a while. So I think it's probably between 8 and 15. You end up getting that message and slows you down.
One thing that you want to do that's a great point, Shane. So depending on the area that you're in. So here I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So there's 5 regions. There's North, there might be 6. Let me count them out loud. There's Fort Worth, there's Dallas, there's North DFW, South DFW, and then mid cities. So there's 5. Every single day you can post on 3 different regions. So whenever we deploy that here locally, we deploy in Fort Worth, we post in Dallas, and then we post depending on where the property is. If it's North DFW, we put it North DFW. If it's in the South, we put South DFW. So those are the 3 areas that we post. So it has a cooldown period of 48 hours per account. I know it's getting complex, but since Shane brings it up, there's ways around it, right? So one of your accounts you could just reserve it to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and let that be the account that you post from, because there's a 48-hour cooldown. But with another account, they're free to create, free to do. With your other email, basically is what I'm saying, you post on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And that way you're alternating through 2 different accounts and you're posting just about every single day. Does that make sense?
That's a great idea. Actually, I didn't even think about that. I don't know why, but the other thing that I've found in my area is that a lot of people flag my posts. So what I'll do is I'll end up making one and I'll delete it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll make a second one, because it's way easier to repost once you delete it after the 48 hours than to go back through and create the thing again.
Yeah. Yeah. So what Shane is referencing is when you make a post and when you make a listing, people can flag it. And what you're going to generally see is people that flag it are people that have other listings. So if you want to go into full nuclear mode, you go and flag everybody else's as well. So that's what I do. But anyway, I have a lot of experience with Craigslist, so that's how I know these little nuances here and there. But it's effectively the people that are flagging your posts, they'll very, very quickly stop doing that when they get theirs flagged as well.
That flagging is a messy game.
Nuclear warfare. You heard me, D. It's nuclear warfare. If they want to do that, we can do that. What other questions do you have on the Craigslist side of things?
Okay, I'm sorry. I got distracted. I got a phone call. I was trying to silence it. You said create 3 accounts? Is that what I heard you say?
No,
okay. I'm sorry.
2 accounts. But here's the thing. Forget even that I just told you 2 accounts. Just create one and build a discipline of posting.
Gotcha.
Right? So make it your Mondays, make it your Wednesdays, make it your Fridays. And the moment that you don't miss on those days is a moment that you have the permission to create. I mean, you're a grown person. I'm not saying, but basically give yourself permission to create another account after you're consistent with at least 1. Right? So create one account, post on Mondays, post on Wednesdays, post on Fridays. If you have a listing, awesome, great. Go ahead and put that on Craigslist. 3 to 5 images is fine. You don't want to show everything. And then in the description, highlight a few features of the home. And then the call to action is what's important here. Because when somebody responds on that listing, on that post that you make on Craigslist, when they message you, they're actually not messaging you through their email. It's a phantom email that Craigslist creates. So when you're replying back and forth, you're not replying back to them directly. So that's why we want to have the call to action be them texting us through that strategy that I just shared. Does that make sense?
And for those that don't have a listing, please get permission from a listing agent. But here's the thing. Just like when you go, and I don't know if some people do this, my first 2 years in real estate, I was with Berkshire Hathaway, and we had, locations, we had brick and mortar. So I would actually contact agents about doing open houses. So the same way you would contact an agent about doing open houses, if you have a property that was either reduced, it's been on the market for 60 to 90 days, and there's no action on it, call the agent and say, listen, I see that your property, is still sitting. Do you mind if I do some free marketing for you? That's what I've done in the past for whether it's Facebook ads or Craigslist. So don't be scared to call an agent, especially if a property is sitting.
Great point. Great point. So one thing I really want to make sure I highlight, again, this isn't a business planning session, but really take inventory at what you've been doing in 2022 as we're getting close to the end. You're starting to see some of the contracts that you're writing are not closing on 2022. They're scheduled to close in 2023, especially if you work new construction. So again, this isn't a business planning session. It's still a buyer's mastermind one, but really take inventory of what you were doing in 2022 and ask yourself, did I have the outcome, or am I going to have the outcome that I expected in 2022? If the answer is no, analyze what you've been doing. If the only thing that you've been doing has been, I shouldn't say only, or I don't want to qualify it that way. If you've been running Facebook ads nonstop and have yet to convert a single soul from Facebook ads, then let's look at that. Does the strategy work? Yes. Did it work for you? Then we need to adjust why it's not working for you. Is it your approach? Is it your follow-up? Or is it the lack of follow-up? Whatever the case may be, that's something we really need to take inventory. So this Craigslist thing, we give strategies here to, for you to learn something and adopt into your business. But this Craigslist one, this is a very low effort, there's zero friction to add this to your arsenal. So whether you're doing this yourself or one of your team members is doing this, so whether that's an assistant, virtual assistant, TC, whoever's helping you in your business, this is something that can be added to. This should not replace a single strategy that you got. This is a strategy that you'll want to deploy every single week consistently. If your strategy is to post on Craigslist once every full moon, it's just not going to be worth your time. Right? So going back to 22, did the actions that I took or didn't take, did they yield the results that I wanted? If the answer is no, then we need to look at 2023 very seriously and select what we're actually going to build, the foundation on and really go deep with it. I'm saying this more for me than even for you at this point, because right now I have a lot of different things going out wide. I think I was even mentioning this to Rondrick a couple of minutes ago when he and I were on the call. There's not much movement that happens when you go a mile wide. The actual the actual water, the actual gold, the actual value is going and building your well deep. But anyway, let's open this up to the community. What challenges are you seeing right now in your buyer business? So this is the open
Falling
forum
out.
to everybody. What's that?
They're falling out.
Explain.
Keep listening to the daggum news about the interest rates
Okay.
being too high, no matter how I try to, to address it and give them comparisons. That's pretty much the biggest thing. And then their buying power is reduced. So that's another big issue. Because unfortunately, sometimes they have this grandiose idea of, go buy the mansion first versus, getting in the game, building equity and using it to move up. But
Sure.
I'm still trying to educate. That's the biggest issue that I'm having.
That's fair. That reminds me of something, by the way. Next Tuesday, we have a phenomenal presenter, Ian Jones. So he popped in. If you were here last week, he popped in for a brief second last week. So he's going to do a full mastermind on how to work with buyers in 2023, where he is going to share it all, like those objections or those challenges. He's going to address them. So we're locked in for next week, and just want to make sure that we were aware of that. But to speak to that specifically, we can go into objections. I have no problem going into objections, but I think what's more valuable here is to go into the appropriate mindset going into 2023, because homes are going to sell. Historically, over 7 million homes sell every single year. That's going to happen, right? So next year, it might dip just slightly, but it's still going to happen at scale, right? So our opportunity here is, and I do generally mean it's an opportunity, our opportunity is to find those folks that do need our services, that need our help. So is there going to be a recession next year? Who knows? But I do know there's going to be a quote unquote recession on transactions, but just slightly, because the need is still there. The demand is still there. Interest rates, yeah, they're going to go up. They're going to go down. They're going to go sideways. It's going to happen. But if this is your profession, you're not here for a couple of seconds and then going and doing your full-time job and then coming back. But if that's you, I'm not trying to offend you, but just in general, I think right now the opportunity is still enormous. I think that in 2023, a lot of folks are going to say that, yeah, I'm going to wait till the market rebounds. Same people that were saying that as a real estate agent, same people that were saying that are the same people that are saying, I can't get anybody into contract right now. So there's always going to be always going to be a but there. Right. So I think, again, we can go into the molecular, like the objections, but I think what's more important for us right now is to look at it from a different perspective and not blame the abstract real estate market. Not that you weren't doing that, but I'm just saying it's easy to mail it in these last 6 weeks and next year and the year beyond that, saying that the real estate market is challenging. Well, historically, I think it was like I don't know where we'll end up this year, but I think it's going to be like 7.2 million homes or something this year. There's a lot of transactions that happened. But next year, I can guarantee you people are going to buy and people are going to sell, and we know that. So Ian makes a great point, though. Connect with more people. Investors are hungry for deals right now. So there's a lot of money getting ready. There's a lot of people in cash at the moment. And you see Shane there nodding his head. He's a very experienced investor, very experienced in rehabbing. So I want to hear your perspective on that.
So I just put one of my rentals on the market yesterday. I've got 3 cash offers all over asking price. This is a crap hole property. This is one I did not want. And I'm working with a guy in California right now. He wants to buy 200 units before the end of the year. all two family to 4-family homes. So there's a lot of cash looking for a place to put it since inflation is rampant. Don't care about politics, but let's just face it, inflation's over 8%. They need a place to put their money. Where are they going to put it where they can get a return that's going to be more than 8%? So that's where people are right now.
1,000,000%, 1,000,000%. So I was actually on the fence between covering this Craigslist topic or the content topic. But I think this is going to be a good tie-in to introduce the content aspect. So one of the big questions right now is, where do I put my money for those that have it? That would be a great conversation to start creating on Facebook. Whether you give your opinion on what, where to park your money, or if you want to put a post out there that you straight up ask your community, where is everybody investing today? Right? If you would just copy that verbatim, where is everybody investing their cash today? If you want to put that on Facebook, you're going to be amazed at all the different responses. You're going to have some people that say, just I'm liquid right now. I just have it in the bank, waiting for opportunities. Cool, let's talk. Right? So I have it all invested in the stock market. I'm waiting for the stock market to rebound. You're going to get so many responses, but right now the conversation is, as Shane mentioned, the conversation is, well, today it's about elections, but the conversation just in general is going to be about the inflation, about really the cost of living, where to park money, what to do with how can you continue to build wealth, right? So if we can start having those conversations, people, because that's who you want to talk to at the end of the day, people that are wanting to do something in real estate. So if you can provide that solution of, this is where you can park your money, and create content around that, you're gonna have a lot of people looking at you and reaching out to you, wanting to work with you. But what else is on your mind about the buyer side? We have a new superstar in the house. Stephanie, how's the YouTube channel?
Hi, it's going well. I'm working on it right now, on uploading it. Thank you.
What's your content strategy? Tell us.
Everything you've taught me. Yeah, just I'm heading into, making YouTube a priority right now, and really building that library up. And the other three that I want to focus on is really Facebook, Instagram, and I need to create a TikTok. So that's in the works this week.
I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. All righty. Everybody's so quiet today. I got too preachy. I'm sorry. Today I got too preachy. What challenges are you having in your buyer business at the moment? Too much, too little, can't get them qualified? We can go into the objections. I have no issue going into them. But this is your call.
I mean, I think you make a great point though, because I mean, when I got into real estate was when the last crash happened in 08. And I went to a brick and mortar place and the whining was just nonstop from agents about how horrible the market is and what a horrible, horrible time. And I was making so much money investing. It was crazy. And I'm like, you guys are just doing it wrong. Like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but it was just like, you're trying to put a square peg into a round hole. So I think you're absolutely right with, yeah, we're going to have a ton of buyers that aren't going to fit right now. If you're borderline that you can't hardly afford your apartment, you can't buy a house right now. I'm sorry. You're probably not going to be able to do it unless you get some sort of government funding and down payment assistance, those kinds of things. But instead of us chasing after those people that can't afford it, how about we just shift? Be ready to shift at any given time and find the ones that can. Like Ian pointed out right away, it's like investors are hungry. Go after investors, go to real estate investment meetings, go to places where people have cash and need to put that money, or go to, people looking for second homes. As the market prices drop, as the homes drop, values drop, you're going to see a lot of people being like, okay, now I'll buy. Now I'll buy that lake home. Now I'll buy that golf home. Now I'll buy that second home in Florida, things like that. So I think you make a great point on, let's not just sit here and whine about, all the things that are going wrong, because every day it's just something. We were just whining about, not being able to get any offers accepted because the market was so hot and 1,001, offers on one house. And now we got people who don't want to jump in because the interest rates are too high. So it's definitely focusing on a different view.
1,000,000%.
Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox now.
No, let me get on it now. No, I'm kidding. What I like to get as tactical as possible. So that's a great point. But one thing that I wanted to introduce here is investors. Ian's brought them up. Shane's brought them up. I think I brought them up as well. I think that's an opportunity right now because many investors are doing cash. So at one point, regardless of the brokerage that you're with, you're able to make cash offers. I don't know if you realize that. So you can do that with the institutional folks that are out and about. Depending on, again, doesn't matter what brokerage you're from. This is open to everybody, but you're able to make cash offers either through the big institutional people that you see advertised all over the place, or just relationships that you have with investors around town. There's a lot of multimillionaires right next door to you. There's a lot. And they're looking for opportunities. So here's how we do that. So we're talking about the buyer's mastermind, right? So another post that you can just straight copy from here and post it on social media. Looking to build my investor list, or looking to add to my investor list, and just put that on social media. So you can just copy that, put it on social media. Looking to add my investor list. I'm looking to expand my investor list. Who should I speak to? And you're going to see your comment section just all the way through. Said a different way. When I have an off-market property, who would like to see it first? And then you can see your comment section just all the way through. Right? So that's going to bring people that are interested in real estate, because you made an offer about real estate, and it just populates. Right? So said even a different, I think that's enough. I think you get the point there, right? So I think whoever you're looking to target, make yourself attractive. Make yourself somebody worth knowing. I'm getting dangerously close to getting back on the soapbox, so I'll kind of pivot here, but make yourself somebody worth. Go to my Facebook right now. Just yesterday, I made a post making myself a little bit more attractive, and I'm willing to coach somebody to get to $100,000 this next year. And I think the comments like at 100. I don't know, something like that. It seems like 100 because I know I stopped responding. But basically, there's a lot of need, but make yourself somebody worth knowing.
Hey, Jaime, guys, I did a video, I did a live interview on my Facebook Live with a 55 plus active living community. And so there's a need, right? But I literally got so many DMs with people asking about this 55 plus community in other locations of the city, and then them contacting me saying, hey, my parents are, preparing to sell. Are you interested? I need a place to find them. And then not only that, the young lady who I interviewed, she felt like it was just so, profound. She just like, we have an agent here that we put. So there's this huge packet, right? There's this thick ass packet where they have all of this information, like people to come and do estate sales, everything, but they had the agent's information in there. And she said, look, I'm going to take hers out and I just need a stack of your cards. So literally she's put me in a packet to give people that come off the street to their community And so it's just crazy, but literally, there you go. I'm just saying. It's so you find those areas that there's a need and you work them. And that's where you're gonna find, you become a resource, right? Literally, I was just giving information to a community, but I got so many DMs of people. My husband and I, we have two listing appointments where one's kind of sticky because the mom died. And so it's in probate, but it's got some financial issues. So it's a pre-foreclosure. We're actually gonna list it so it doesn't go to foreclosure. And then the other one, we're just doing a listing appointment, and I'm able to take this packet to them and give them all of these resources that these people have already done. Like literally, there are people that will sell their products online. They will go in and take a picture of how it's established in a room, and then they will take that picture and then, you know, set it up directly that same way in the apartment for this senior, you know, that needs to, that doesn't like change. I mean, they go in and declutter, they do this stuff. So it's just all these resources, guys, that I didn't even need to research. This lady just handed me. And then she's promoting me in front of people that go there that don't even know me, that I haven't even advertised to. I'm going to they have a realtor function tomorrow from 4 to 6. So I go in and meet the guests there. But this is all stuff that I didn't even know about just by, you know, reaching out to her and asking, could I interview her? So.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Ian, talk about that niche, because I know we had a conversation about, it wasn't this Friday, it was 2 Fridays ago, no?
Yeah,
When
it's
we had that
something that
lunch?
we've circled back to, helping agents identify a niche. So, Kimberly, I don't remember if it was you. There was, I think we did a mastermind, and they were talking about an overlooked market to serve, which is a great niche, is the senior community. So we know investing is a great niche. When the market changes, you know, cash becomes king and sellers get a little bit more desperate to sell. I can't speak on the 55 plus community, but I do understand just helping people. I bought houses out of probates. I've done short sales on reverse mortgages, foreclosure. So I understand that world very well. I don't know. I don't think we're back there yet, but either way, it's just helping people. So it's a great niche.
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. So something that would be pretty cool. No, I've gotten too tactical. I'll back up. Someone unmuted. Who unmuted?
It was me. I was going to say one of the things that I have done recently too, because I am an investor, cash buyer, but I also have a big pocketbook of cash buyers, is I went on, whoever's with EXP, we have workplace chat, and we have a state group. And I just put in there like, hey, if you guys need a cash offer on something, let me know. These are the areas that, you know, I'm looking in, and I can make a cash offer and usually close within 14 days. And a lot of times I can make those offers really from the pictures on the MLS. So I did talk to my broker about it before I put it in there, but I've already gotten 2 phone calls from other agents about that. But like what Ian was talking about though, we are starting to look at some of these other things, because both of those were overpriced and probably going to be either short sale or something along those lines. So it's going to be interesting.
100%. 100%. Now, something else. I know I said I wasn't going to get more tactical because this is a seller, this is a buyer's mastermind, but on the seller side, my preferred investor wants to buy one more home before the end of the year. Who should I speak to? So my preferred investor wants to buy one more home before the end of the year. Who should I speak to? Now here's the dirty little secret. Very rarely when people reach out to you in that manner, very rarely will they go with your investor. It's going to become a listing. Because a lot of folks don't recognize how much lower certain investors literally need to go, especially as home values are going to decrease next year. That's my belief. How drastically low. So if they were offering 70%, and Shane can speak about this way more than I can, but to safeguard themselves a little bit more, they're making some offensive offers right now. So you're not trying to offend anyone. You're just trying to see who's at least open to conversation. And that's when you have the council. That's where it was about 2 weeks ago where Kim actually talked someone out of selling. So of course you're going to be ethical with this, but just again, just sharing what happens when people reach out to you when you make these types of offers. One, you actually get people reaching out to you, but two, in that manner, you're able to offer a solution. If they want a cash offer, you can help them out all day long, but oftentimes it becomes more of a conversation. Well, I think we'd much rather list it, but after the holidays. Cool. I'll be back January 1st.
That's
But
a
what
great
else is on
point,
your
Jaime.
mind?
Jaime, that's
Yeah.
a great point. Actually, how I do it, just so people know, when I make a cash offer, and I'm sure Ian does something similar, but so I go in and I get a net sheet of what my cash offer is, and I give them a net sheet on what I think it would sell for on the market, so that they can see side by side, you know, like, hey, I'm going to take a discount for cash, but it's guaranteed kind of thing, or I could list it. And 9 out of 10 times I say, if I get that opportunity, they're probably going to use me one way, shape, or form. So I win either way.
And that's the very important part. I'm glad you bring it up that way, Shane, because some people, I used to think this early on. I thought it was unethical for a realtor to do that, but it would be unethical if you just didn't disclose. But when you're presenting people options, you're solving the problem one way or another. Either this is a cash offer, you can take my offer, you can take my investors' offers, I don't care, or we can list it. Hey, this is what you have. These are the options that you have, and let them choose, right? We would all love to make the most money possible in the history of ever for us, for our investment. But we know that's not the reality. Life is messy. But what else is on your mind? One more topic, and then we can get to our commitment corner. I like these conversations. I like talking about investing. Maybe we should do an investing thing, no? Mr. Social, Jay Hill, are you there?
I'm here. I just posted that that status about you know, where are the savviest folks investing today. So hopefully I'll get a response on that sometime soon.
Hey, what's working on socials right now? You're my go-to on that.
Listings, properties is getting the most kind of a response on my end. I just got another listing that went live this past weekend, and I tried the Craigslist strategy. I haven't gotten any response from it yet, and maybe it's just because it's my first time doing it. But I'm excited about trying out that strategy just to see how it plays out.
I dig it. To that, just some since this was a Craigslist conversation, one of the things that I didn't mention was whenever this is your listing, but what ends up doing a little bit better in terms of engagement is going to be that the median home value of the area that you're in.
Okay.
That's generally tends to be the this is your listing. This is a bit different, but generally, if you're looking for borrowed listings, that's where you want to go, give or take $50,000, whatever happens to be your medium price range. That tends to do better. Single stories tend to do better.
Okay.
Those are the ones that will generally get the most traction. And again, this is
Yes.
not a post once and forget. This is a let's continue coming back and getting as many postings as possible. What was that, Jay?
So I was just gonna ask, because I kind of jumped in late after my last call and caught the tail end of what you were saying. How often are we looking to do the Craigslist postings? Like how much is too much, or how little is too little? Is it weekly, or is it multiple times a week?
That's a great question. So we talked about it. If you have one account, the most that you can post is every 48 hours. So there's a 48-hour cooldown. So if your market is an area that has 3 or more geography, that's wrong. I'm not gonna be able to say that word. More than 3 places that you can post. So here in Dallas, we have Dallas, Fort Worth, North DFW, South DFW, and mid cities. So we have 5. In one day, I can post in 3 of them, and then I'm capped. I cannot post again until 48 hours later with my one account. So every 48 hours, you're going to want to do this. So rule of thumb, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and either you're doing this yourself or you're whoever's helping you in your business, VAs, assistants, TCs, buyers agents, sellers agents, whomever, they can help post on your behalf as well.
I actually use the Agently to post it. So I can schedule it that way, right? I can just schedule it.
I'm sorry?
I actually used Agently to post it on Craigslist. So I should be able to use that and just schedule it to automatically post, I think.
Not on Craigslist yet. We're getting Instagram online. We're getting Craigslist online. We're getting Google online or Google Ads online. We're just not quite there yet.
Got it. 48 hours. That's doable.
Hey, Jaime, real quick, just to piggyback on Jared's with the Craigslist, because like I said, I just posted to it as well, trying to get back into it or just do it. But my question is, do you have a video in reference to posting to Craigslist on your YouTube channel anywhere? Is there something out there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can you just drop which YouTube page it's on so that I can kind of go and look for it?
Yeah, just my name, Jaime Resendez.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Awesome Blossom, commitment corner time. So in our commitment corner, what we do is we commit to a certain action. It can be huge, it can be small, it doesn't matter, but we commit to an action that we're going to accomplish by this time next week. So by this time next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central, when we have our buyers mastermind again, what are you committed to doing in your business? It could be record a video, it could be write a script, it could be cold call 1 billion people, whatever it is that you plan to do and actually execute. That's where the movement happens, right? So Jay is a prime example. I didn't even know that he did that, but Jay's a prime example of implementation. Heard something that he liked and wanted to try out and didn't wait, and it happened, right? So what are you going to do in your business between now and next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central? I'll give you 20 seconds because I got to come up with mine as well. If you feel comfortable dropping in the chat, that would be cool. If not, no worries. But as long as you write it down. All right. So mine is I got to create my cost of living series template. So that's what I'm going to do. 25 calls a day, direct mail for my buyers, 2 YouTube videos. I like it. First time home buyer webinar. Cool. Awesome, folks. Well, if you like what you heard and want to hear more, check out our YouTube channel. It has all of our past TED Talks that may or may not help you in your business. Hopefully they will. But man, that was a terrible sell on that. They will help you. Trust me, they just help. Thursday, 10 a.m. Central, we have our sellers mastermind. So if you want to come through, highly encourage you to do that. Outside of that, have a great Tuesday and talk to you soon. Bye.